Hello again, everybody, and we are getting ready to go on a short little virtual tour of our library here at NGC. I'm going to kind of walk you through some of the different sections of the library in these videos, so if you for some reason weren't able to make orientation, or if you are a new student, this will kind of give you an overview of what our library is like. Now, when you walk in, one of the first things you see are these 7 freestanding shelves right here in the center of the library. And you'll notice at the end of each shelf, it will give you kind of an alphabet range. Now, our fiction books are organized alphabetically by the author's last name. So one of the ways you can search using our online catalog is you can type in the title of a book or the genre or whatever keyword you have, and it will pop up with all the results. And then of course it will give you a call number. Now, if you look at the shelves, you can see all the call numbers of the books right here on the bottoms of the spine. Now this one right here, it says FCOT. So we know that this is a fiction book and the author's last name starts with COT. And you can see that it goes in alphabetical order from left to right, top to bottom. So once you know this call number, you are able to locate the book on one of the shelves by simply going first to the shelf that has the alphabet range you are looking for, and then walking down that shelf line and following it alphabetically until you find the books that you are looking for. Now, our library is organized a little bit differently than some of the middle school libraries. We don't have our books organized according to genre like you might see in some of the middle school libraries. At the middle school library, there are shelves that are all fantasy books, all mystery, and so on. Now, one of the skills you do need to learn as a high school student is how to navigate a college or public library. So we do believe it is important you learn these skills. So our books are all mixed in according to genre because they're organized by author. However, for every book that we have, you will notice we do put a genre sticker on the top of each book. So this will help you identify and find your favorite genres. You can just kind of go down the shelves and browse. Like we've got the unicorn for fantasy, the magnifying glass for mystery, the ghost for horror and suspense, the hearts for romance, the rocket for science fiction, kind of the there's a compass symbol for adventure. You can see right down there, there's basketball, football, and baseball if you're looking for sports. So you can still kind of locate the books according to your favorite genre if you just like to browse. However, they're not organized that way. So that is a little bit different. So these are our fiction books. Now remember, fiction, these are all stories that are completely made up. There's no factual information really incorporated in there. They're just things that we like to read for pleasure. So if you are interested or if you need recommendations, please come see me at any time and we will hook you up with some of our really, really popular fiction books for this school year. Okay, so if you're having trouble choosing something to read for this school year, one of the first places I always recommend for students is to check out the Gateway Readers Award. Now, every year there's a committee that chooses or that reads hundreds of books over the course of a single year, and they narrow the list down from those hundreds of books to the top 15 books that they thought were the absolute best of the best. And so what's great about these books is not only are they really good, but you also have a wide variety. There's a lot of different types of genres, so you can kind of find something for almost everybody on this shelf. I kind of want to talk to you guys just about a few of them. I'm not going to do all because that could take a while. This one here was a really, really good. Camp Valor. This one is a story about a young boy who he gets framed for a crime that he didn't actually commit. And he's sent to jail, and he's told by this government official that he can either spend the rest of his life in jail or he can agree to come to Camp Valor for a much shorter period of time, which is a government training camp, and he can train with them and consider the idea of working for them. Well, when he gets to this camp, he kind of discovers that he actually has a bit of a history with some of the people on this camp, and there's actually something a lot more sinister that's going to take place on this camp than what he originally thought. So this one is really, really great if you like kind of war stories, a lot of action and adventure, battles and stuff. That one was really, really good. If you like mysteries, Little White Lies was a really, really fun read. This is actually one of my favorite authors, Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the story of a girl. She was raised by her single mom, and she's never known who her father was. Her mom grew up with a really, really rich family in the South, and for some reason, her mom, when she was little, completely severed ties with her family, kind of moved away and was kind of determined to make it on her own. Well, as this girl gets older, she is approached by her grandmother, who is still very much a part of the high society in this, Southern community. And her grandmother makes a deal with her. She says, if you come back for 1 year and you participate in this debutante season, then I will pay for your college education, which is about the only way she's going to get to college. So she agrees, and she heads down to this high society Southern community. And as she starts participating in this high society life, she realizes there's a lot of skeletons in the closet, and she tries to solve the mystery of who her father actually is. So that one is another really, really fun one. If you like horror, The Unfortunates. This one was really, really creepy. This one's a story about a senator's son who he's taking a solo trip out in the wilderness. It's kind of a rite of passage in his family that he has to complete. And he also has a very burdened past. It hints in the beginning, very early on, that he did something really, really bad that his father, who is a senator, covered up, and he's feeling really, really guilty for it. Well, while he's on this trip, is going spelunking, which is like cave exploring. Well, while he's doing this, there is a terrible cave-in, and he and 4 other kids are trapped underground in this cave trying to find a way out. But as they're trying to find a way out and save themselves, they realize that something is in the cave with them, hunting them, and they have to try and escape with their lives. So that one was a lot of fun if you like those really spooky ones. Okay, now in addition to our fiction books, we also have our nonfiction books. And hopefully you guys all recall that a nonfiction book means a book that's based on fact or has been really, really extensively researched. Now, the way you can tell if you're holding a book in your hand and you want to know, is this fiction or is this nonfiction? You can actually look at the call number on the spine of these books, and it will tell you whether it's fiction or nonfiction. For example, if you can remember from our fiction video, a fiction book has the letter F followed by the first 3 letters of the author's last name. A nonfiction book has a series of numbers followed by the first 3 letters of the author's last name. And this, of course, allows us not only to organize them by author's last name, but we can also organize them by content, because the different numbers also are basically the categorization of these books. Now, we have lots of nonfiction books for your research. So you can kind of see that we have this wing of the library over here, and our nonfiction books start over here on this end. You can see my little sign. It says nonfiction 0 to 599. So it starts right here. They go first by number and then by alphabet, and they go top to bottom, left to right. So you can kind of see here are all our nonfiction books. So they follow this wall right here. Still nonfiction. Woo, hope you guys don't get sick with my videoing. Okay, we come around over here by the windows. These are also all nonfiction. You can see this wall is our 600s to our 799s. So once again, all nonfiction. Okay, and then right here we by our Harry Potter poster, we have a small collection of magazines. If you just want to borrow a magazine instead of an actual book, that's fine. And then we have a little bit of a gap, so we get to walk down here past our fiction bookshelves and come over to the books on this window. Now this is the rest of our nonfiction section. You can see my little sign. It says these are nonfiction 808 to 994. You can see the call numbers once again. And you follow this shelf all the way down to the end right here. Now when we get to Weird Missouri, this is the end of our nonfiction section. So if you need any help with research, if you're needing facts, or if you just want to read about things that are true, this is where you're going to look. Okay, so the next section we are going to talk about is our reference section. Now, our reference section starts kind of right here where our nonfiction section ends. You can see it's this really tall bookshelf right here, just this one section. Now, with our reference section, mostly what you'll find in the reference section are things like almanacs, encyclopedias, thesaurus, dictionaries, and so on, or sets of books. Now, our reference section is available for checkout, but you might want to make sure you take really, really good care of any books that you get from the reference section, because they tend to be a little bit more pricey because they're a part of a set or because just of the overall size of the books. So if you guys want to check these out, you are more than welcome to. Just try and take extra special care with them. Okay, so our next section, this is a section we just kind of have put in the last couple of years. Every year I have kids ask me for books that are factual, based on true stories, but read, more like a story instead of like an encyclopedia or a dictionary or a textbook. So right here we have our section. It's our nonfiction for fiction readers section. And now all of these books here, they are nonfiction, they are true stories, but they're going to read more like an actual story. So if you want to read something that is more like a story, but is based on fact, this is where you want to go. So like you can see right here, some of the ones we have Friday Night Lights, Marley and Me, Chasing Lincoln's Killer, which is really kind of a fun story. We Are Displaced, The Nazi Hunters, A Rip in Heaven, Tuesdays with Morrie, and so on. So if you're looking for books based on a true story but still read like a fiction book, this is a great shelf to go to. And you can find this one between the reference section and the quick reads section in the right wing of our library. Okay, our next section of books that we're going to talk about is our quick reads section. Now, I know every year I have a few kids who tell me that they are not big readers, they don't like to read, or they don't have time to read. So one of the first places I direct them to is our quick reads or easy reads section. Now, if you'll notice, most of the books on this shelf are fairly short. So they're very fast-paced read. They're pretty easy to get through the story fairly quickly, and a lot of them are still geared towards high school students. Like Firewall down here is about a boy who's a gamer, and he somehow gets tied up into a murder mystery with his video games. Like, that one is really fun, really cool. We also have the whole I Survived series. So if you want some historical fiction that's really fast-paced, those are great. We have the Goosebumps series, or at least parts of it. We have books that are scary. We have ones about sports. We have books about kids overcoming tough backgrounds or tough situations. We have pretty much everything over here. So this is a really good place to go if you're looking for a really quick, really fast-paced read that you can enjoy. So you'll find this section once again. This is right next to the nonfiction for fiction readers section and the everybody section in the right wing. Our next section is our everybody section. Now, this is a fairly small section, but in our everybody section, we do have a small collection of picture books. So if you're interested, like if you maybe babysit on the side, or if you have younger siblings and you guys are interested in checking out some of these books to read to them, these are here available to you. But it is just this one shelf of books right here between the quick read section and the adult section. Now, the adult section, we do have an adult section because being a 9th grade center, you guys are kind of between, middle school and high school a little bit. So the adult section, some of the types of books you're going to find here are like books like Gone Girl, Game of Thrones, and The Girl on the Train, Eat, Pray, Love, Interview with a Vampire. All of these books are available for you guys to check out. The only reason we put them over here is to let you know that maybe some of these books are geared towards slightly older readers. So if this is not what you're looking for, then this, obviously is probably not where you want to be looking for books. But if you're interested in any of these books, yes, they are available to you. And the way to know, like if you have a book in your hand, you're like, is this an adult book? If you look on the spine of the book, above the F for fiction, it will say adult. So it's pretty easy to identify these books. So no, we do have some really good ones over here, so feel free to peruse whenever you guys have a chance.